Well, here, hello, we're on location here. Look what we got here, all kind of cool stuff. I just got off of work. And there you are, tearing, this is a turbine out of a power plant. Look at this. They're tearing Hatfield power station down. Hatfield had 3 units. This is part of the turbine that was in it. Look at the size of that shaft. I don't know if I can get a relation here or not. If on mine, it's probably at least 20 inches, maybe more. That shaft. Wow. Oh, this is not something you get to see very often. Generator end. All right, it was steam driven, coal fired. Go over here and see this. When they were in Hatfield in there, they were red. The outside was all red. I started working at Hatfield in 1972 as summer laborer. And I remember every year they would, Hatfield was built sometime in the mid-1960s. I started there in 1972. We're going to take you over and show the power plant here in a minute. And then I went to Penn State University. I worked the summer and then went to Penn State University for 2 months and decided I did not want to be a draftsman. That's what I went for, drafting and design technology. And I went back to work at Hatfield. And worked at Hatfield until August of 1977, where I went to the Cumberland Mine. Incredible. I remember when they had those, sometimes they would come, Westinghouse would come in every now and then. They'd take a unit down and they would tear it down and they have to get in there, and they had the covers off of the turbines. And I remember that. Those blades have to be almost perfect. Alrighty. We'll go over and see the power plant. Man, look at the size of these bolts. Wow. Okay. We'll be right back. Okay, we're sitting here right on the other side of Masontown Bridge. This bridge is fairly new, about 5 years old. There was another bridge over here, an old steel bridge that had been there forever. But we'll give you a view of Hatfield Power Station from this end of and then we're going to go up here. I'm sitting in the middle of the bridge right now, and way down there where those cells are in the river, That's where the water outlet came from, the cooling towers. Big cooling towers there. I was actually there when they built the second cooling tower, and that was pretty cool to see. And our barges were down there on the other side, and the water went out. And in the wintertime back in these early 70s, it got pretty cold and the river had frozen over many times. But there, that hot water coming out of the cooling towers, the discharge, kept our harbor from freezing. If you see right down here, right close to the river, that concrete place, that is the water intake for Hatfield. Was. And you see the lowering wells down there. I'm sorry. See those? Trying to hold this steady. That's barge unloader was way on down there, and it put coal up to the top of those two, and then there was a flop gate so it could run to either one of those wells and then run out. And on the ground were feeders, 4 feeders around each one of those that we would push coal into, and then the coal running up this belt will go into the plant. Okay. All right. I got a call. I was out on track today. I got a call. I'm sorry about the chain link fence. I hope that doesn't mess things up. You can't. It's all chain link fenced everywhere around. I got a call today on, I was out on the track from the prep plant wanting to know if we had any used rail. And I told them where our used rail was at, and they said that they're going to use that used rail. They only need 6 sticks. I don't know for what, but they're going to implode something here. Don't know what it is, whether they're going to blow the whole thing up. It's going to happen Saturday. They got signs out here on Route 21 on both ends, so nobody will be able to get through here when they do blow it up. It's interesting stuff that I want to tell you. These smokestacks, I have no clue how high they are. They're up there, and if you can see the let's see if we can zoom in. See those walkways around there, and there's lights. Obviously they had to have lights on for aircraft, and it was the plant electrician's job to just adjust it back right. Okay, plant electrician's job twice a year. There's a ladder up the side to go up there and change the light bulbs. Ha! And that was a volunteer job. That's a long way up there. It was an all-day job to go up. And I'm going to tell you what, the guy that usually volunteered for it was a younger guy. He told me when you get up to the very top, it's swaying. Now that's got to be really scary. I almost volunteered. I was 21 years old. I almost volunteered one time to go up, and I am so thankful that I didn't. I actually had one guy go up there partway and freeze, and had to call the fire company to try and get him down. All of this was added in scrubbers at a later date. That wasn't there. And you see they've started to tear it apart. The fly ash came out of those silver things across there into the smokestacks and went up. And then where you see the openings, those are called precipitators. The openings, that shot the fly ash up into the scrubbers. And I really don't know how they work. Like I said, I wasn't here when they were here. The second cooling tower over here, I was here also when they built that, and they drove piling all around. They had big steam drivers. Our coal pile was just on the other side of the cooling towers. So that was pretty neat to watch them build that. And they had a sliding form to go up. Of course, the cooling towers, you can see how they're shaped. They go up like that. And they had netting under there, and they had a couple guys fall, if I remember right, off of this one. They had many falls. I'm thinking, if I remember guys right, they're telling me from back then there was 7 deaths when they built this from people falling. And here's another interesting, very interesting thing that I'll bet a lot of you guys do not know or never heard before. These cooling, these stacks, they had American Indians come in at a sliding form also and skip buckets and run it up there, and they'd run the concrete around with wheelbarrows. But they used American Indians because they weren't afraid of the heights. And also, back in the 1960s, they paid them, the higher they went, the more money they made. They paid them by the foot. So when they actually got up to the top of the stacks in the mid-1960s, those guys were making $150 an hour. But you know what? Can you imagine being up there? No way. No way. So I do not know what they're going to blow up. We'll be back and we'll find out. After next week, I'll come stop back in and see what gets blown up. Up here's the switch yard. And this went to 3 different places. The power. The one I do remember was one line went to York, Pennsylvania. We're here at Masontown, Pennsylvania. One line went to York. I cannot remember for the life of me where the other 2 ones went. This did not supply power for here. Lake Lynn power plant up the river, up the Monongahela River's right down here, supplies our power. There's a line coming in across the river that came from Fort Martin. Fort Martin was built before us. It's way upriver, and that supplied the startup power for here. My dad was a lineman for West Penn. He actually built part of that line from Fort Martin down over that steep hill. You can see that hillside over there, but you can't see the power line because it's right in the middle across the river. All right, we'll be back. All right, this is the substation. There's a lot of new stuff in here from what it was. You know, the power came from over there into here, and then it went out these 3 transmission lines. And I'm not going to remember in my head how many megawatts this station produced. I will try to find that out, but my memory, it's not my memory. But I know working down there, it crosses the river way on down there, which you cannot see. But working the river down there at the time, these lines just crackled. They crackled. It was pretty wild, but you got used to it after a while. So anyway, I could drive down there, but several years ago, well, many years ago, before the station shut down, some protesters from Greenpeace actually broke in. They drove right in, actually, and went, believe this or not, they went to the bottom of those stacks, those smokestacks, and they climbed one and they climbed the other, and when they got near the top, they had a banner that they unfurled. So that was really extremely dangerous. I don't remember what the banner said. That was obviously something derogatory about coal. But anyway, that really tightened up security here at the power plant. And West Penn wide over, West Penn Power had this, and then it went to First Energy. But here's another thing that is going on. This is currently in use to my knowledge. And way over here, you see this new lines right above us? That's coming from a single unit plant that they just built last year, way over in there. Way over, and you can't see, it's way on the other side of those trees. So, this is being utilized. That's up there, up there. And that is a gas-fired plant. It's the new one. Alrighty. Well, they got their stacks down. This is March 7th. And the first part of the video I made actually September 27th of last year. So this is March 7th, 2023. They were supposed to blow everything up there back then. But they had a fatality, sadly. I don't know the details on that. The demolition crew had a fatality. So they delayed it, and just this past Saturday, they blew these silos up, or the smokestacks, and the silo that was up there. So, thought I'd come down here and show you this. I did not, obviously, did not get the video. That down there was the main office when the plant was in running. But there are several videos on the internet already of the stacks going over, so you have to do a search for that. And you can see them being falling over. I don't know when the towers are gonna, cooling towers are gonna come down though. So there you have it. I'm gonna go up here and try to go to a better view up on top of the hill there. But I think you can see there's a lot of trees here and stuff. It's a little hard to see, but there you have it. I come around the curve up here, coming in, and since the 1960s, so used to seeing those stacks up in the air, and it was like there's something missing there. All right. Okay. I've been over every inch of that plant, every foot of it, when I worked there. A lot of memories. All right. We'll go see what we can come up with up the top. There you have it. Okay. I hope that fence doesn't mess things up on the video. If it does, I apologize. But alrighty, there you have it. They got most of way down there, way down there. Blue building in front of it, and then way back there, there's a belt line going up. That was coal handling. I worked there the last few years. And that big round drum, if you can see it, was the rotary breaker that the coal ran up through before going into the plant. I got all that big building tore down too. Goodness gracious. Okay. All right. I want to thank you. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's show. really appreciate you stopping by. There you have it. The end of an era.